I've retrieved the Atwater Kent 856 from my youngest grandson, John, and it still plays perfectly. Really nice radio. For those of you who've never seen an Atwater Kent 856, when you change bands, the light changes on the dial. I'll show you here. There, when you're on one shortwave band, which is the police band, then when you go to the foreign band, the light lights up, which is 5.5 up to 18 megacycles, and then when you're back to broadcast band, you get the full scale. I thought that was slick. It's got two tone positions. That's the other one right there. Not bad. By the way, I'm not transmitting this. This is coming from some radio station somewhere. Pretty cool, huh? Alright, the next job is to get rid of that old permanent magnet speaker. Let me see if I can show you here. Okay, there it is right there. We're going to get rid of that baby right there. And first I'm going to hook up the original speaker. I'm happy that when I hooked up the audio output transformer, I put a couple of connectors in there that I can easily disconnect. Not a bad little radio. I was real happy with the results of this thing. There's one of the little witness marks that was on top. I left that. That's really neat. Other than that, it was a beautiful restore. It turned out much better than I ever expected. And I also kept the original speaker cloth, even though it's got a little snag area right there, and it's a little thin right there. I decided to just paint it and keep it rather than get rid of it. It's not like you can get this kind of cloth every day. Everybody said, "Oh, you need to change the cloth, change the cloth." No, wrong, sorry. This is my radio, my chalkboard. I kept it, and I'm glad I did. It gives it that additional bit of character. I have removed the old permanent magnet speaker, and I've got the original speaker gator wired in. And here are the results.
A strong earnings report from
I am happy to say that the speaker is good. All right. Surprise, surprise. So what I'm going to do now is clean it up, solder it up, and put it in the old cabinet and get it looking real nice. And the next time I see my grandson, my youngest grandson, we can go ahead and give it back to him in a 100% functional status with an original speaker. That is just so cool that this thing is working. Check that out. It sounds good.
It's just such a big thing for my life. It's for free.
Not much reception in this building.
Put your refund on arm transplant there. Morocco said
this latest endeavor, so it never hurts to have a former president lobbying for economic development.
Well, there you go. Of course, the next step is to get all this rust and crap off of here, and as usual, I'm using, my old, all standby navel jelly. I just kind of put it on there, let it sit for several hours. I got nothing else to do with my time anyway. So, what the heck, we'll just let the old navel jelly do its thing. We'll get it all wiped off and get it cleaned. Then we'll start on the basket. Cleaning the speaker is coming along pretty good. I've got the pieces that hold the speaker in on the other side off and got those stripped down. The rust has all been removed with navel jelly on those, so I'll be spraying those with some primer and then some black paint. The rest of I've sanded down some smooth areas here, there, and everywhere that I'll be painting gold. I'll probably do this little spot a little bit better. And I'm touching up a few spots that needed one more lick with the navel jelly. There's a couple of spots here that could use a little extra help. But other than that, we're in pretty good shape. Now, the screws that hold these things on the other side over there, I've got them in this navel jelly in this cap right here. I'm just going to let them set for a few hours. And then the screws that hold the audio output transformer cover on. I'm going to soak those. I'm doing one at a time. I'll soak one and get it clean, then put it back in, and then remove the one on the other side. That way I don't have that. The only thing holding that audio output transformer in there from sagging and falling down is this cap screwed to this bracket. And I have to get some, right here you see there's some really brittle insulation right here on these wires. I'm going to be coating those real heavily with liquid tape. Let me see if I can get a light over here and kind of show you what I'm talking about. You can see how bare those wires are down in there. It just all fell off. I don't want anything to happen there. It's coming right out of the field coil. So this is your field coil cover, by the way. And it'll all be painted. I'll have it all taped off, and once I get all that done and make sure everything is righteous. Now, I'm not going to do a bunch of sanding on this paint right here. This is a crinkle paint type stuff. If I start sanding on it to remove a little bit of rust here, a little bit of rust here, that'll just look real bad. I'm just going to paint right over it, get the rust off, and then just paint right over it. I'm not going to use primer on this. If I do, it'll be short shots of very, very dark primer here and there where the metal's bare, and then I'll go over it with some probably flat black paint, and then go over the top of it with a clear enamel. It's time to put the old liquid tape down in here on top of those wires. I want to really put quite a bit of it on there. I want to sort of, use the liquid tape to cement them together a little bit. They're a little bit too loose and floppy, and every time they move, they break the insulation on the outside. That is really, really brittle stuff. And I don't want that to happen, so I'll do one side, and then I'll turn it around, do the other, and then remove any excess. Incidentally, old Arthur Atwater Kent, he was famous for putting little gold medallions on his radios here, there, and everywhere, some large, some small. Here's one right here that says AK 165. It's stamped. Now, what that means is this speaker came out of an Atwater Kent model 165, and the 165 is this radio right here. That's a nice looking radio. It's from 1933, and has really intricate scroll work for the grill. Nice, cool grill work. I like that. Then you come up here, look at the back side of it. This is what the back looks like, and there's the speaker sitting right there. And up in the top right hand corner is where the audio output transformer is positioned. Now, the AK-165 was made in 1933, and the Atwater Kent 856, which is where this speaker is going, it was built in 1936. There was 3 years difference. And the output tube of the 165, 3 years earlier, was a 2A5, a 2-volt filament. And the output tube in the 856 is a 6F6 with a 6-volt filament, or heater, I guess I should say, in both cases. So the question was, the 6F6, in order to function well, likes to see 7,000 ohms as a load. And that load is provided by the primary, it's called impedance, and that load is provided by the primary of the audio output transformer. Now the question was, oh man, this thing came out of a radio with a 2-volt filament tube, and it's going into a radio with a 6-volt filament tube. What will be the load difference? I mean, will the 2A5 load be the same as the 6F6? I was thinking no. I may have to change audio output transformers to make sure it matches up. Well, guess what? Luck was with me finally on this thing. The 2A5 plate load resistance, 7,000 ohms. The 6F6 plate load resistance, 7,000 ohms again. The only difference between the 2A5 and the 6F6 is the filament voltage. 2 volts on one, 6 volts on the other. Other than that, the characteristics of the two tubes are the same. Alright, the old liquid tape is beginning to dry up and harden pretty good, which is really making it solid in there, but I'm going to put even more. I want this thing to be solid for a very long time. And I'm not globbing it all the way up here. The colors of the wires are still discernible all the way out to here. It won't be a problem. I'm just going to keep it down in here where I want it to be totally immobile.